Minister, Under-Secretary of State, Secretary General, fellow parliamentarians, ambassadors, distinguished guests, it's my pleasure to open the 17th OSCE Parliamentary Winter Meeting. This valuable tradition of gathering every February at the headquarters of the OSCE provides us the chance to interact with ambassadors from our home countries, to hear from experts and officials from the OSCE's governmental side, and to begin preparing for our annual session next summer. As always, we offer our gratitude to the OSCE for having and for making this possible. I would also like to personally thank the Under-Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Vincenzo Amendola, representing the Italian chairmanship of the OSCE, and OSCE Secretary General Thomas Breminger for being today with us. I welcome the strong cooperation that we have had so far, which hopefully we can build upon well. In presenting the priorities of the Italian chairmanship, last month Foreign Minister Alfano announced that dialogue, ownership and responsibility would be guiding principles of the chairmanship. This reminds us that our ultimate responsibility is to the people of the OSCE area, whose interests we should always keep at the forefront of our thoughts. I'm pleased that many of chairmanship's priorities overlap with the Parliamentary Assembly's agenda. On issues including addressing the crisis in and around Ukraine, resolving protracted conflicts, enhancing the security of the Mediterranean region, and tackling the challenges of migration. There is much room for cooperation in these fields. Minister Alfano also spoke about promoting a holistic approach to fight against the terrorists, which is something that we have been working towards in the field, particularly with the work being done by our ad hoc committee on countering terrorism led by Marcus Aurelius. Tomorrow we'll also hear a report from the committee chair on the work of the committee in the field since being established last July, along with reports of Chair of the ad hoc committee on migration, Mr. Lombardi, and a special representative on gender issues, Lady Fry. And I'm sure that their reports will provide lively debates in our closing session. Dear friends, it is no secret that the level of dialogue and trust with the OSCE area is at a historical point. On the other hand, this could be an failure of multilateral organizations such as the OSCE for falling short of doing what is needed to build trust and manage the challenge we face. But on the other hand, we can also be seen as a historic opportunity to revive this organization. After all, let us remember that this organization was founded in Cold War climates, in tensions and mistrust. If it wasn't those tensions and the common desire of our government to reduce the threat of war, the organization probably would not exist at all. With the OSCE founding spirit, cooperation and threat reduction in mind, we can look at the critical and complex challenges that we face today as potential areas for partnership and collaboration. While some of today's issues are different than ones that the founders of the OSCE were concerned about, some of them are remarkably similar. And what is very much the same is the relevance of the OSCE pioneering model of comprehensive security. We know from experience how the OSCE's three dimensions of security, political, military the economic, environmental, and the human dimensions relate closely to each other. We know that each of these dimensions affect the others and that real security is not possible unless the commitments we have made are fully upheld. We are gathered here in Vienna to share our ideas and to promote problem solving on some of today's most critical issues. Through open dialogue, and I hope that we are able to find the areas where our national interests converge. This should not be difficult, as there are many such areas, several of which included the topic of our intermeeting agenda, and we will tackle challenges such as migration and terrorism, two areas in which there are clear opportunities to join actions to enhance security for all across the OSCE region. We will also hold a debate on the importance of upholding democratic principles in the era of fake news, which should be a concern to all, and to all us as parliamentarians. Arms control and disarmament are also on the agenda. That is an issue that has taken on new relevance and urgency in recent years with the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and the troubling trend among nuclear powers. To try to make their nuclear weapons more usable and remove the signal and the stigma that has long time been attached to a nuclear first strike. We'll also be discussing long-term strategies to tackle climate change and the global consequences, which is obviously a very timely and urgent concern. It is troubling that even while the effects of climate change are becoming more evident, and the long-term predictions of scientists are proving accurate, we will still have some within OSCE, some countries that fall to take the threat seriously. Dear colleagues, as you may know, I was recently in Ukraine when I had a range of high-level meetings with government and parliamentary and governmental leaders. I also met representatives from the international community, including the UN and OSCE and Chief Monitor Ambassador Rapakan and his team. I want to reiterate, and I say again, what I said in Kyiv, that the sustained ceasefire is urgently needed, and the efforts must be stepped up to create a safe environment for the people of Donbass. The human cost of this conflict is simply unbearable. The OSCE has adopted several resolutions since 2014, expressing our full respect to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine with its internationally recognized borders, which includes the Crimean Peninsula. But to move forward, we need the full implementation of the Minsk agreements, which set out concrete actions to be undertaken by the sides. Resolving the crisis in and around Ukraine is something that we in the international community should be able to do. And I remind everyone that we have a blueprint for this process in the form of Minsk agreements. What we need is implementation of these agreements, as well as our OSCE resolutions. And this will remain a priority of mine as president. And on this topic, we had a very interesting discussion earlier today at the Standing Committee. We come together at a critical time for the OSCE and for the 1 billion people that we represent. It is not alarmist to say that we are at a crisis point that could lead to a conflagration that we have not seen since 1945. After all, even the conservative Economist magazine ran a cover story in a recent issue warning of the next war and the growing threat of great power conflict. I will stop providing this edition so you can see that. As parliamentarians and policymakers, as policymakers, diplomats, and conflict mediators. And it's up to us to make sure that this does not come to pass. We should always remember the lessons of history and always guard against the complacency and a false sense of security that in the past have led nations to war. In this respect, we should keep in mind that this is precisely why the OSCE exists. It provides a forum for dialogue, for promote security and cooperation, to ensure that our differences are resolved with words rather than with arms. We heard last week at the Munich Security Conference several positive references to the Helsinki process as a best case template for troubled regions around the world. We must be proud of our efforts. We must treasure and nurture our commitments and principles. If we want to shape a secure and stable future for the generations to come, we have no real options except to abide by these commitments. All participating states share this responsibility equally. The crisis in and around Ukraine, and of course before conflict in Georgia, is a stark reminder of the dramatic consequences weather lies at the face. Our challenges are many in this area, but each one of these challenges also represents an opportunity to enhance the level of dialogue and cooperation. It is in that spirit that I hope we can hold productive debates over the next 2 days. Thank you all, dear colleagues, for your support. I look forward to working with you all and hope that I can continue to uphold the high level of leadership that was provided by my predecessor, President Maduro. Now I'd like to give floor to our Secretary of State, Amendola. Thank you all. I wish you much success over the next 2 days. Thank you.